Today we have Steven here on my side. So welcome, Steven.
Thanks, Jurgen. Thanks for the invite.
Today I want to talk with you. You're a professional Scrum trainer and you did lots of Scrum implementations and transformations, as they want to call it as well. Similar like I did. So some of them we did together actually. Today I want to explore a bit more with you the role of management. Do you feel up for it?
Definitely. I'm looking forward to the chat.
Yeah. Okay. So we all know, when you do a transformation or an adoption or whatever you want to call it to more of a kind of agile, highly collaborative environment, that the behavior, not only for team members, but also management, actually everybody in the organization will need to adapt. So, but let us first try to find a common ground for us, where we both see, what is the role of management before in a more traditional organization, non-agile organization? How do you see the role of management?
What I often see there in companies we start with is that they are looking into dashboards, reports, traffic indicators, reds, greens, oranges, to then decide this team will have to do and that person will have to do, and they are looking into numbers, number crunching, and that seems to be their focus.
Yeah, but number crunching and the things you say are all activities that they do. What would be the purpose of those activities?
To be in control of whatever happens in their team, in their teams.
Being in control. The main purpose of manager in a traditional is being in control.
Yeah, be able to say this is what's going on, this is where we will be in 2 weeks, this is what, being able to say all these kind of aspects.
I think trying to have some view on what is happening, I think in an older and non-agile structures, I think it's required to be able to fulfill their responsibilities and their accountabilities that they are being given by an organization. I think they ask them or give them a kind of budget responsibility, for example. So you are required to manage the budget.
Yeah. You
are also required or mandated to make sure people grow in their environment. So there's a couple of things they put on the role of a manager, and it's being able to deliver on time. It's being making sure that the budgets are okay, that it doesn't grow, making sure that people grow, making sure that the onboarding is foreseen, that we can grow our organization, not only the market but also the organization. I think all of those things are being put on different kind of layers of management in an organization, and those are tools they use to be able to fulfill their requirements.
Yeah, with an additional constraint or assignment they get, that everything you just mentioned is very cost efficient. This is what I typically see.
Cost efficiency.
Yeah.
Can it be that? So I think cost efficiency might be there. I'm not so hardly convinced. I think it highly depends on where you come into or where you look at management. What I see is that lots of organizations are designed to make financial controlling or financial audits, passing financial audits, make it very easy. So if you want to pass a financial audit very easily, then it's very simple. We have a different organizational structure, which is CAPEX, and a different one, which is OPEX.
Yeah.
I think this is already starting to go different, but if you have CAPEX, it means we have a certain piece of the puzzle that will think about potential innovations, new business, so which is generally called the business department. Yeah. If you go to business, they are not so much only looking at cost. The cost is more into the other department, which is then the R&D department where they do the work.
It's about us and them in these situations. They have to be more cost aware. They have to be more cost effective. They have to watch out how they spend the time and the money.
So this is a bit of a thing there. So there's lots of responsibilities being put to management. So which means there's less responsibilities in the teams. The responsibilities seem to me that they are divided across different layers of management, but also different departments of management. So Is it more on this way, traditional management?
Yeah, so meaning management puts in the teams then is purely the execution still. It's less the thinking part about how can a challenge of a user of a business better be solved than it is to just execute what management thinks they have to execute.
So I will give it to you first. So if you need to conclude the traditional management role, so in a one sentence, then we classify traditional management as
be in command and control of the teams they are accountable for.
Okay. Cool. So, which is a bit less than the cost that you mentioned before. Anyhow, being in control. So, being in control. I think this we can. So, if we then do a transformation or an adoption to, let's say, a multi-Scrum environment, multi-team Scrum environment, because one team, that's a small organization, that's a startup. It's automatically is not bossy or management alike.
No, true.
So let's go at multi-team Scrum. So that we have this 7, 8, 9, 10 teams all working for the same organization/product. So there is transformation that needs to happen.
Yeah.
From being in control, there's certain support needed most probably from management, getting it moving, and there's a new, the new world or the new real life for management afterwards. Yeah. Can you guide us through it as a Scrum guru?
What I see what I'm expecting from management during that transition period, especially, is to start showing trust to the teams. Like, okay, we need to reorganize, for example, from the silo teams, analysts, developers, testers, etc., towards the cross-functional teams. And one way of showing that trust, that is instead they decide who is in the teams, that they start giving that trust to them. Hey guys, reorganize. This is a constraint. We want teams that are cross-functional. Go for it. Make a suggestion at least, and then maybe the manager can still question a bit, but the end decision stays with them. So start showing trust is very important for me.
Okay.
There. And this is just one example. It is also about their tooling, it's about their way of working, it's about anything. It's a big change for managers there already.
So in the transformation part, it's like start showing trust.
Yeah.
That's it?
That's the biggest one for me. That comes to mind. What I also see is that a lot of companies say, yeah, we need to switch, and they want all the teams in one go to switch. And to me, that's not the best idea. I feel that they need to decide which part of can we switch so that they can learn before they bring in others. Then you have, of course, two types of working in the company, and they need to support the new ways of working in line with the others. So they need to be kind of shell and protect and support those interactions.
Okay, this is where I can relate to as well. So trust, I think trust is by default. And if you would say to any manager today, even in old structures, do you trust your teams? They will all say yes. So I think trust is a very relative understanding and difficult thing to grasp. But if you say, okay, in a transition information format where you go from old to new, it's always the organization is generally bigger than you should immediately turn around, because if you do the entire organization all at once, most probably you have lots of relabeling of roles and process, but not that much change in behavior. Changing behavior is difficult. So that's where we both say, you know what, look for a smaller target audience, but still significant enough, of course, so that you get some benefits. And then within this bubble, you do a significant transformation, and actually the shell, like you mentioned, is then more handled by the management, so that they are a kind of an API with the old and the new world. So allowing the new world to uncover better ways. The first sentence in the Agile manifesto.
Correct. And I see that a lot of managers struggle with that. For example, the focus is very often on a group of development teams, building software, analyzing, testing, validating stuff. And then there is the sales department, marketing department, the HR department. And these interactions between these different groups and the guys who are switching, I see that there's a big struggle with that. Because all of a sudden sales is impacted. They cannot just sell anything they want anymore. They have to take into account what the teams are doing. And in the past, it was just push it on. Same with marketing, same with HR, so there's a big role to play for management there.
Yeah. I think one of the things that people need to realize while adopting is giving away step by step. So management is taking responsibilities, the different layers are taking responsibilities. At a certain moment in time, if you go to more of a cross-skilled organization where you have a team of teams, basically not team separate, because that would be too much of autonomy, not enough of alignment. And I think if we have a higher product, multiple teams will need to have some kind of alignment to there. Having high autonomous teams where a team can basically do whatever they want without taking into account another team seems for me a bit of an utopia. There is larger products need alignment. But in those layers as well, it means as well that you said give trust to the teams. I would say I need to look at all the different responsibilities that all the different layers of management take, and we start giving those responsibilities more and more to the team of teams together.
Okay.
So one by one, I'm a strong believer in this kind of self-managing teams and self-designing teams. Then again, I also do understand if we take away all responsibilities for management, and I say we don't have management anymore, and all the responsibilities they were taking, here you go. That it would not work. At least that's my perception to this.
It doesn't work at all in that way, of course. I compare it often to raising a kid. So you have your kids, and as a parent, you need to allow it to grow and to learn things, but you cannot allow to do anything immediately. They are just not ready for it. And it's the same with the team. So you give a smaller objective with smaller accountability, smaller mandate, and step by step you see where they are able to grow, and you give them, and it grows step by step.
Which is perfectly in line with the lean thinking, basically, where in the lean they come like a manager mentor.
Can you explain a bit more?
In the lean world, they go way beyond what we most probably do in a product development environment. In a lean factory setting, for example, they say manager mentor, or basically the concept is that the manager should be able to do the job of every subordinate better than any subordinate they have. So in this way they mentor. What I say now, if we're listening to, we give things away, we need to slowly give it, meaning we are slowly mentoring a team of teams on how to take the responsibility. So we grow the capability of taking responsibility, and we give it at the same time. So we grow capabilities, we grow. This is that's why I was reflecting, it's more like the lean world manager mentor mechanism than
fully aligned.
Control.
Fully aligned on that. You cannot give something and support a team of teams that you are yourself unable to do. If you are unable to do it, how can you support them? So that wouldn't make sense indeed.
So I think they're in transformation, and if we look at transformation, then you said the shell that you mentioned around it. I think next to mentoring the inside, I think most of the energy will need to go to more of the outside, which is, if you look at traditional management, they want to control what I have. So I control mine, and you control yours, and it's all like this. We all look inside, and I think there's a big change happening. It's definitely in transformation. We still look inside, but it's more not on controlling, on mentoring, on growing, and at the same time we need to look to the outside a bit more. And this is a shift towards after being transformed, the inside has been transformed, and the only thing left for me, for a manager in an organization, is the more external outside world.
And I think that's the biggest difficulty that managers face, is before they are in control of everything that's in their scope, and they don't look a lot to the surroundings, and that's the complete shift they have to make. They have to trust those teams to do the stuff they need to do. And they need to influence everything that's surrounding, that it doesn't block the teams anymore, and that it's even supporting the entire organizations. And they do struggle a lot with that shift.
If we say they need to look more at the outside world.
Yeah.
So to support the inside world, what are we looking at, Steve?
Yeah. So if we say we have a team of teams that is going for Scrum and other Agile ways of working, that's the insight for that manager, because that was his previous accountability, if I can say it like that. And now that manager is giving more and more trust to that group. So they deal with things. They just decide, they go for it, they solve things. And they need to shift to everything that's surrounding that shell to see, are there any interactions that needs to be improved? Are there any governance structures that need to be changed? Are there other interactions? And that's the outside world. So everything that's outside the team of teams that goes through the adoption.
So if we talk now, we are both into Scrum and especially multi-team Scrum then. In Scrum, there are a couple of roles. I disregard the roles. I do transformation without having them. But anyhow, so you have this Scrum Master, you have Product Owner, and then you have teams.
Yeah.
So the teams are taking more and more responsibility away from the manager.
Yeah.
What about this Scrum Master and Product Owner?
Yeah. To me, the Scrum Master is there to support those two. To support both the manager and Product Owner / teams. So in the end, if the Scrum Master sees that interaction between manager and teams is not optimal, in the sense that there's going trust to between both sides and giving more mandate, he should play on that and help building more trust and giving more mandate to the teams.
Okay.
If the Scrum Master sees that the manager with the surroundings, that doesn't work so well, Scrum Master need to support also that relationship. I think that's very crucial there. When we look to the product owner, for me, the product owner should receive from management the mandate on the product. And the trust of managing should go to the product owner with regard to product decisions.
And wasn't that a big part of their old controlling as well? Controlling the output of the teams, the cost of the teams,
by the manager.
Activity, yeah.
Yeah. And so that is the shift that they have to make also towards product ownership, to give that mandate to the teams with the product owner to decide on what is the focus now for the product, what's the vision of the product. So
if you're a manager, you go from, I have actually all the responsibility and accountability on output. What are we having as our output? How much does it cost on growth? So it's a huge responsibility with lots of different things.
Yeah.
Where you see in the transition, we need to, you said trust, but we need to give some of those responsibility one by one to the teams, but also to the product owner and to the Scrum Master apparently. So what is still left at the end?
For me, the biggest part that they should then do is to focus on the vision of the entire company. Where do we want to go with that entire company? What is the structure that will support us to get there? So vision strategy at company level is key. And that's something they can, to my experience, never give to the teams.
I'm happy we get there, by the way, because I was thinking as well, okay, it's giving. Actually, the Scrum Master takes responsibility for all those things. That's one of the reasons I don't explicitly go to Scrum Master and Product Owners anymore. But what I still think is what you say, at the end, the management is the ones being in control of designing their own internal kitchen. Wow, like product ownership, I will now say this. So we have managing, general management, I would say.
Yeah.
So the managing is about how do we design our kitchen? How is the future of our kitchen looking like? Well, how can we grow so that we have even more and more meals we can prepare in our kitchen? So how can we facilitate all of this? So I think this is general managing. Then product ownership is about which kind of dishes are we preparing and when do we prepare and how do they taste, how much can we sell them, so dishes.
Yeah.
And then Scrum Mastering is more, I don't know, how do we keep our kitchen clean so that it doesn't become one big mess over time. So if we need to use kitchen, I don't know if it's the right metaphor.
That's a nice metaphor.
So, but I consider them more as a kind of activities we need to do.
Yeah.
So if we really have the roles product owner, then product owner, it's your responsibility to
have a good menu.
We have good menus to sell that they actually sell, that they also are tasty. People are happy eating it.
Yeah.
So Scrum Master, make sure everybody keeps it all clean here and that it's not a huge mess. And
not in a controlling way again, but more in a coaching, mentoring way, challenging way.
Okay.
Like, hey, what is the effect? The bin is full. What's the effect, guys?
Okay. Cool. Management is then designing the kitchen.
Yeah. And
Where
do you
all
need
the rest is operating in.
do you need a house level kitchen? Do you need a big professional kitchen? Do you need 3 kitchens?
Cool. So it's a shift from
It's a
being
huge-
in the kitchen to designing the kitchen.
Yeah, it's a huge shift. It's honestly a huge shift.
Okay.
But we cannot live without them. Someone needs to set the vision and the strategy for the company. That stays their accountability.
Okay. Cool. Thanks for the conversation. So let's see next time when we sit together again,
Yeah.
what kind of topics we are going to address now. For now, I see, there's a huge shift. We need to, as management, give lots of responsibility away. For me, it doesn't need to be on a product owner or Scrum Master. So maybe if you have a good mentorship to existing management, the existing line management could be at the end, do Scrum Mastering, could do product ownership. So it's not about the role, it's about
The person.
understanding what needs to happen and then collaborating.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Okay. And if we need roles for that. So
That's the choice.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Jurgen.
To the others. See you around.
Bye.